Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm super excited about this video. This is one of those videos that's just extremely enjoyable to make. We're going to be talking about billionaire Ray Dalio saying, you think $35 to $3,500 per ounce is a big move? Peanuts compared to what's next. Now, that's a huge claim. I'm going to show a video from Ray Dalio's YouTube channel talking about this. This video is by billionaire Ray Dalio. It's only 9 hours old. Gold will 10x from here, and silver $500 per ounce soon. I personally am not saying that silver is going to reach $500 per ounce soon. Billionaire Ray Dalio thinks otherwise. But first, what is he talking about? Why is he making such an outlandish claim? Remember, I just made a video yesterday about Mike Maloney calling for $300 silver. So these people are all very, very bullish on silver. Now check out the video I made yesterday if you want to see Mike Maloney's reasons. He posts several different reasons why. And that's the thing about silver. There's not just one thing that's backing, that it has going for it. Silver has multiple things going for it. And all of the stars are starting to align. So when you look at it from a perspective of something making sense, if you're going to invest into something, you want to invest into something that logically makes sense, or else you're just gambling, right? And nothing else has more going for it than silver. Nothing else, not even close. There's so many different reasons and situations that could push silver much higher. And that's the common denominator between all of these people, whether it's monetarily, whether it's industrially. There's so many things going for silver. So here is a video posted 3 days ago from Ray Dalio's YouTube channel. He has 2.83 million subscribers. The video's titled, "The Time the United States Ran Out of Money." Let's check this out. It's only 4 minutes long, and then I'll throw in my thoughts afterwards.
In 1971, when I was a young clerk on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, the United States ran out of money and defaulted on its debts. That's right, the U.S. ran out of money. How? Well, back then, gold was the money used in transactions between countries. Paper money, like the dollar, was like checks in a checkbook in that it had no value other than it could be exchanged for gold, which was the real money. At the time, the United States was spending a lot more money than it was earning by writing a lot more of these paper money checks than it had gold in the bank to exchange for them. As people turned these checks into the bank for gold money, the amount of gold in the U.S. started to dwindle. It soon became obvious that the U.S. couldn't keep its promises for all the existing paper money, so people holding dollars rushed to exchange them before the gold ran out. Recognizing that the U.S. was going to run out of real money, on Sunday evening, August 15th, President Nixon went on television to tell the world that the U.S. was breaking its promise to let people exchange their dollars for gold. Of course, he didn't say it that way. He said it more diplomatically, without making it clear that the United States was defaulting.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
I watched in awe, realizing that money as we understood it was ending. What a crisis. I expected the stock market to plunge the next day, so I got on the exchange floor early to prepare. When the opening bell rang, pandemonium broke out, but not the kind I expected. The market was up, way up, and went on to rise nearly 25%. That surprised me, because I never experienced a currency devaluation before. When I dug into history, I discovered that the exact same thing happened in 1933 and had the exact same effect. Then,
Yes, let me pause real quick. This is very important. 1933, the Executive Order 6102 by FDR confiscating everyone's gold. And actually, there was another executive order FDR did in 1934, Executive Order 6814, confiscating everyone's silver. He posted this saying, give us all your gold, or you're going to pay a $10,000 fine, 10 years in prison, or both. Very interesting stuff. And when we talk about silver and gold confiscation, we could revert back to that because it has happened and many times throughout history. I actually made a video a couple of years ago showing every nation and how, or I guess what nations confiscated the people's gold, the circumstances behind it. And there's always two very common factors: war and financial crisis. Anyways, let's continue on.
paper dollars were also linked to gold, which the U.S. was running out of because it was spending more paper money checks than it had gold to exchange for them. And President Roosevelt announced on the radio that he would break the country's promise to exchange dollars for gold.
It was then that I issued the proclamation providing for the national bank holiday. And this was the first step in the government's reconstruction of our financial and economic fabric. The second step, last Thursday, was the legislation promptly and patriotically passed by the Congress, confirming my proclamation and broadening my powers so that it became possible, in view of the requirement of time, to extend the holiday and lift the ban of that holiday gradually in the days to come. This law also gave authority to develop a program for facilitation.
In both cases, breaking the link to gold allowed the U.S. to continue spending more than it earned, simply by printing more paper dollars. Since there was an increase in the number of dollars without an increase in the country's wealth, the value of each dollar fell.
And I really did want to note how they manipulated the wordplay to make such a catastrophic change in the financial system not seem as bad or as as influential as it was. Is extremely manipulative, and it just shows how someone wording something a certain way could lessen the blowback. And they even mentioned it in the video. But here's another article from Jerusalem Post. Here's why silver could outperform everything. It goes into a recent interview with Liberty and Finance, actually. Australian economist Phil Lowe from the Bitter Draft podcast presented a compelling vision of a post-financial crash world where silver could see unprecedented gains, purchasing power. We could see silver outperform anything we've dreamed in our lives. If so, that's great. If not, that's great. It really, to me, that's not the reason I'm investing into silver, is to just get rich. And it's wealth preservation. It's a way to preserve your money in something that holds its value as the dollar deflates. It's like putting your money in a time capsule instead of leaving it in your bank account where it slowly, or yet I guess quickly, burns away. Rise in silver outputs boosts India's offtake for the precious metal. Here's where gold and silver stand, and they're talking about healthy consolidation phases. UBS, buy silver now before it soars. We have MSN.com, silver prices on the rise with trade tensions after a softer dollar. Silver ratio dive bombs versus gold. All these were written in the past week, by the way. Silver investing leaps fastest since COVID. Gold to silver ratio, why silver is massively undervalued. We have, from the Silver Academy posting what we covered yesterday of Mike Maloney talking about $300 silver, and of course today's Ray Dalio $35 silver to $3,500 per ounce is a big move. Peanuts compared to what's next. So at the end of the day, there's so many reasons why silver could rise exponentially, but I'm not going to sit here and promise you that it's going to hit $500 or $3,500 per ounce. That would be very irresponsible of me, someone who has a channel because I'm not going to sit here and give you guys false hope or unrealistic expectations. Those always lead to resentments, and I'm not trying to steer anyone away from precious metals. I want you guys to have the real reason why we stack silver, not this hope shot of gambling and just hoping we'll make. That's not why. And once you realize silver's true value, none of that, not comparing it to the dollar, is going to make more sense. What is $500 bills compared to an ounce when $500 bills isn't worth anything? Why compare real money to fake money, right? And once you get that, then it really starts to make sense of why I'm telling you all that you're investing in for the wrong reason if you're trying to just get rich off silver or as a get-rich-quick scheme. But to each his own, right? To each his own. Maybe you do, or maybe that's your goal. It's perfectly fine. I'm just, from my perspective, that's you're missing the bigger picture. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will link this video in the description, and check out the video yesterday where Mike Maloney's talking about $300 silver and the several points he gives as well. So, billionaires, they're successful for a reason, and if you follow what they do, then you'll probably be successful as well. People like Warren Buffett, Jim Rogers, Ray Dalio, Elon Musk. There's so many billionaires that are investing in a silver. They know exactly what they're doing. It's not by accident. My name isn't Silver Slayer by just pulling silver out of a hat. It's not Gold Guy. It's not Bitcoin Boy or whatever. There's reasons why I chose silver, because it makes the most sense. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe. I post daily videos. And make sure, if you guys want to support the channel, patreon.com/silverslayer. You could help me out that way. I haven't posted for 5 months, so anything helps. It's definitely fun and exciting to be back. I love doing this. Always have loved doing this. And yeah, I'm back, folks. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.